Hello. The Colt Car Company was started roughly about 8 years ago. And since then, it has now become a major motor trading and motor importing organisation, receiving recognition throughout the British motor trade and industry. What you're about to see now is a brief history of the company and of its diversifications for future reference. Unlike many, Colt is a story of success, and we look forward to the future with great excitement and optimism.
The Colt story began on the 4th of October 1974, when Michael Orr founded the Colt Car Company as a joint venture partnership with the Mitsubishi Motors Corporation of Japan. The share capital at that time was £200,000, with Mitsubishi Corporation holding 49% of the shares and Colt Automobile Limited holding the remaining 51%. The company's base at that time was 4 rooms in Dollar Street House, a converted mansion situated in the centre of the beautiful town Cirencester. Cirencester, only 88 miles west of London, forms a natural crossroads to the rest of England. And its history began when the Roman Emperor Claudius established the town in AD 43 as a regional capital of Roman Britain. Having established its first head office, the Colt Car Company was scheduled to become fully operational on the 1st of January 1975. However, before then, a tremendous amount of work had to be accomplished. At this time, Michael Orr was joined by the now Vice Chairman Jack Morris Marsham, who was responsible for setting up the marketing operation of the new company. To achieve distribution, a national dealer network had to be established. The October 1974 International Motor Show at London's Earl's Court would provide the newly established company with the first sales platform, both to Britain's motor trade and the British motoring public. Meanwhile, a parts distribution centre also had to be located, as well as a deep-water dock facility for the importation of the first cars from the factories in Japan. All the work was completed on schedule, and the first Mitsubishi Colt cars, the original Lancer and Galant models, were introduced at the London Motor Show. The cars were so well received that 60 dealers were appointed, and because so few cars were available, as soon as the show ended, the display models were actually replated and driven off by the Colt staff to be used as demonstrator models. By the end of 1974, the company was all set to go, and everyone looked forward to the official launch of Colt in Britain on the 1st of January 1975.
This is Colt, a tough new breed of car, ruggedly built to protect you and your passengers. A suspension that was tough enough to help Colt win the Safari Rally outright. Aerodynamically shaped for top performance and economy. Fitted with highly efficient overhead cam engines. 9 exciting new cars from Colt, a tough new breed of car. They start at less than 1,400 pounds. Ring this number now for more information.
However, not everything in life goes quite to plan. On Christmas Day, the newly established Parts and Service Division, based in Swindon, just 15 miles from Cirencester, was burned to the ground, destroying the first consignment of parts from the factory. Disaster was narrowly averted by airlifting a consignment of parts from Japan. January the 1st was still to be day 1. In the company's first full year of trading, 2,980 cars had been registered in Britain, 140 dealers had been appointed, and the Colt Car Company had made a small but encouraging profit of £15,000 on a turnover of £4.9 million. The following year, 1976, saw the introduction and launch of the new Colt Celeste, and during that year, registrations rose to 6,750 units, supplied through 175 dealers. By November, the company had outgrown its original premises in Dollar Street and moved to new, much larger premises in nearby Spittlegate Lane. The Colt Car Company had grown from 15 employees in 1974 to 60 in 1976, and a turnover of £13 million. Throughout 1977 and 1978, Colt continued to expand and was quickly established as being the fastest-growing car company in Europe. By the end of 1978, over 27,000 Mitsubishi Colt cars had been sold, despite the continuing import restriction on cars from the factory. It was also during that year that the Colt Car Company established itself as a major sponsor of sporting events. During the Easter period of 1978, Colt sponsored the first Colt Car Country Fair and Amberley Horse Show, an event which has since become an important landmark in the equestrian calendar. Apart from attracting some of the world's most famous riders, Amberley has also attracted some notable publicity, like this front-page story in the Daily Telegraph, featuring Princess Anne. Having discovered the value of sponsorship in helping to achieve brand awareness for the Colt range, Colt followed the success of Amberley by sponsoring the most famous horse race in the world, the Grand National at Aintree. With prize money totaling £82,000, Colt's sponsorship of the 1979 Colt Car Grand National made Colt the biggest sponsor of national hunt racing in Britain, and helped project the Mitsubishi symbol on television screens throughout the world. By the end of that year, 10,696 new Colt cars and 942 commercial vehicles had been registered, an increase of 10% on 1978. Meanwhile, the company's turnover had risen to £42 million and was still growing fast. Right from the outset, the Colt Car Company has marketed Mitsubishi cars and commercial vehicles with the conscious objective of promoting each model as a high-quality prestige vehicle, not to be undersold or compared with other Japanese makes. This philosophy is not only reflected in the advertising presentation of the product range, but also in the way Colt is promoted throughout the United Kingdom. To support its promotions program, in 1979 the company added a 77,000 cubic feet hot air balloon to its promotions unit, and this was followed in 1980 by the addition of the world's first one-man hot airship. Apart from supporting its national dealer network with the most comprehensive promotions program of any car company in Britain, Colt also instigated its first season of race circuit promotions around the country. Famous Grand Prix racing circuits like Silverstone and Brands Hatch were hired, and Colt dealers were invited to bring potential customers along to test drive the cars in an exciting environment. That promotions program has just completed its 5th successful year. And with additional promotion support planned for the future, which includes Colt's 4-man skydiving team, which has a habit of dropping in on dealers as well as track events, it represents a highly effective promotions platform for new car sales. Whilst the company was busy developing strong brand identity for Colt cars by these and many other promotional activities, it was also diversifying its business interests. The first of these was the establishment of its own model dealership in Cirencester itself. Known as Colt Cars Midwest, the showroom doors opened on the 12th of December 1978, and to date has been responsible for the retailing of more than 3,000 cars in the area. With an annual turnover approaching £5 million, Colt Cars Midwest not only represents a further profit centre for the Colt Car Company Limited, but is also recognised as a major car dealership in the southwest of England. The company has also diversified in its own right by developing the largest and most advanced body repair centre in the west of England. This centre is equipped with the very latest fast-bake ovens, and together with the new retail parts and service centre, covers an area of 50,000 square feet. At the same time as the parent company was setting up the Midwest operation, it also made its first move into the aviation field. The value of a private aircraft facility had long been realized as an effective means by which executives of the company could cover large areas of the country fast and efficiently. Up to 1978, the company had chartered the occasional fixed-wing aircraft or helicopter from third-party operators. So in June 1978, the company employed Captain Peter Turner, a highly qualified airline pilot and flying instructor, and purchased its first plane, a Piper Aerostar 601P, registration G Colt. Within months, it added a Bell Jet Ranger helicopter to its license, and following the successful operation of the Aerostar, subsequently placed an order for its first jet-prop executive class aircraft, the Rockwell Turbo Commander. Today, Colt Executive Aviation is emulating the car business within its own field. It is now one of Britain's fastest-growing private air charter companies, operating an 8-seat Super King Air 200, a 6-seat King Air C-90, and 4 5-seater Aerospatiale Squirrel helicopters. With a new headquarters and maintenance base of its own at Staverton Airport, only 15 miles from Cirencester, Colt Executive Aviation now operates one of the top air charter contracts for police forces in the UK. Colt also run regular third-party executive charters throughout the UK and Europe. Its distinguished aircraft livery has also resulted in some impressive corporate publicity for the Colt Car Company. Publicity like this news story of Colt helicopters helping to dry out the course at Cheltenham prior to the 1980 National Hunt Festival meeting. It made national television news. For prestige, as well as publicity purposes, the company also purchased this 1943 Harvard fighter trainer, which Colt pilots fly at air shows around the country. Later this year, Colt Executive Aviation anticipates delivery of the first Mitsubishi Diamond 1 executive jet in Britain. This 600-mile-per-hour 8-seater aircraft will cruise at altitudes of up to 41,000 feet, and be able to provide its passengers with the capability to fly to Edinburgh in 40 minutes or the south of France in less than 2 hours. Third in the area of diversification has been the establishment of the Mitsubishi Power Division, which will be responsible for the sales and marketing of a wide range of industrial diesel engines, portable generators, agricultural machinery, 2- and 4-stroke air-cooled engines, and automotive GS batteries. In order to accommodate the current business interest of the Colt Car Company Limited, a new headquarters complex was developed in Cirencester, into which all the major divisions of the company were accommodated in March 1983. Covering an area of 6.2 acres and costing £4 million to develop, this freehold development incorporates a computerized warehouse covering 93,000 square feet, which at any one time holds around £4 million worth of parts stock, with the capability to provide over 94% of any parts order at first pick. The directors and management team based at the new Watermoor headquarters include Asao Kawanami, known throughout the company as Arthur, who heads the financial operation as finance director. Mike Perkins, who joined the company in 1978, is the divisional director accounting and assists Asao Kawanami in his capacity as financial director. Colin Pierce, who joined Colt from the advertising industry in February 1978, heads up the marketing operation. John Rose, who was sales manager, joined Colt from one of its dealerships in January 1978. David Haig, who was previously dealer development manager of BMW, looks after the company's dealer development program. Ari Sperling, who was Michael Orr's executive assistant, joined the company in 1983 following his retail motor experience in both Britain and America. Jack Morris Marsham, whom you saw earlier, is vice chairman and one of the original Colt management team. Ian McLean, who also joined the company in its early days as wholesale manager, now looks after Colt's growing export markets as export sales director. Adrian Sellers is managing director of the company's own finance subsidiary, Spittlegate Dealer Services Limited, which provides unit stocking facilities to the dealer network. And finally, Brian Hacker, who as parts and service director is responsible for the warehousing and distribution of the vast parts operation, as well as the company's import centre at Newport, South Wales. Whilst on the subject of the new Watermoor headquarters, it was on the 23rd of June, the eve of Midsummer Day, that Colt celebrated its move to the new complex with a memorable all-night party, attended by 1,000 guests and staff. Commencing at 11 o'clock on the night of the 23rd, guests were welcomed to a special marquee by the big band sound of the Lewis Merthyr Band, suitably conducted by the chairman, followed by a stunning 20-minute firework display at midnight to herald the move from Spittlegate Lane and Swindon. Throughout the night, top entertainers kept the party in full swing, with a special casino in operation to ensure that additional funds found their way to supporting the company's chosen charity, the International Centre for Child Studies. At dawn on Midsummer's Day, a formal tape-cutting ceremony took place, conducted by Michael Orr on behalf of the Colt Car Company, Mr. Morita, Managing Director of Mitsubishi Corporation, and Mr. Fukuda, Managing Director of Mitsubishi Motors Corporation. To tie in with the midsummer theme, a complete replica of Stonehenge found its way onto the lawn in front of the building to provide an appropriate backdrop to the proceedings. A far cry from those 4 rooms in Dollar Street House, the new Watermoor headquarters represents an important milestone in the development of Colt in Britain, and one which both its staff and dealers can take pride in. Meanwhile, at Newport, just 1 hour's drive from Cirencester, is Colt's own deep-water dock and shipping compound, which has grown from its original 7 to a 14-acre site, capable of handling 6,000 vehicles at any one time. Special car-carrying ships like the Don Carlos, seen here about to unload 1,500 cars from Japan, are able to dock adjacent to the Colt compound. Further south, at Plymouth in Devon, Colt has also established its own special commercial vehicle bodybuilding operation. Seen here are Bob Yarworth, Colt's administration director, and Lloyd Hutchings, general manager of the commercial vehicle division, where the Mitsubishi L300 chassis cab is being developed into the exciting commercial range, which is another important aspect of the company's business. To date, over 80,000 new Colt cars and commercial vehicles have been registered in Britain. For example, in the first 8 months of 1983, Colt registrations represented a 12.2% increase over the same period of 1982. Reflecting the growth of the company's business activities, the share capital was increased from its original £200,000 to £8 million. And within the company's last financial year, turnover exceeded £60 million. Throughout the 9 years since the company was founded, it has always believed in aggressive and original marketing of its products and brand name.
Why is the car company who take you 0 to 60 as fast as a Ferrari Dino so proud of their £4,000 hatchbacks? We'll tell you now. Who makes the only family hatchback with a real choice of gears? 4 for power, 4 for economy. We'll tell you now. Why should the world's biggest turbo car manufacturer be so obsessed with using less petrol? We'll tell you now. How many performance cars do you know that need under 3 hours major servicing a year? We'll tell you now.
Its policy has always been to concentrate on doing the many things its competitors don't do, and to maximize on the publicity and public relations value of those activities. In addition, the company has always supported individual initiative and ambition as a reflection of its own identity. With sponsorship continuing to play an important role as part of Colt's image projection, in 1981 it chose to support an up-and-coming inshore powerboat driver by the name of Fiona Brothers. With Colt's sponsorship, Fiona entered the world of Formula One competition, and at just 26 years of age, she was to become the fastest woman on water, when she achieved an overall speed of 116.28 miles per hour over the measured mile at Home Pierpoint Lake near Nottingham, beating the previous world record by 7.2 miles per hour. On the 8th of May 1983, disaster struck Fiona during a championship event at Bodymore in the West Midlands. Suffering severe head and back injuries, Fiona made a remarkable recovery, and within 3 months was back on the water again, promoting Colt to the full. Accepting challenge has always been a part of the Colt Car Company's philosophy. And when Rob James presented the company with a proposal for entering and winning the 1982 Round Britain and Ireland race, as well as other international ocean racing events, it took little persuasion for agreement to be reached on such a project. The project entailed the development of a new state-of-the-art trimaran. International yacht designer Ron Holland was commissioned to design a craft that would be easily handled by one person, strong enough to take on North Atlantic gales, and yet light enough to perform well in near calm conditions, such as the light airs of the Round Britain race. This trimaran, named Colt Cars GB, represented Colt's first involvement in international yacht racing. Following the yacht's launch at the Royal Leamington Yacht Club by Mrs. Pat Orr, wife of the chairman, Colt Cars GB entered and won the principal major race she was designed to compete in. Crewed by Rob and Dame Naomi James, Colt Cars GB set a new overall record for winning the 2,000-mile Round Britain and Ireland race in 16 days, 15 hours, and 3 minutes. Having succeeded in that event, the decision was taken to design and build a new maxi-rater yacht to enter and win the 1985-86 Whitbread Round the World race. Together, Ron Holland and Rob James were to develop the design of the new boat, and this was already at an advanced stage when Rob James so tragically died in March 1983. Knowing how much Rob James would have wished to see this project succeed, Jeff Holgrave, accompanied by Rob Lipset and Adrian Thompson, have taken over the development and building of the new maxi boat. With construction taking place at a special factory unit in Plymouth, the second Colt Cars GB is expected to be as big a winner as the Colt Trimaran. Already, £2 million worth of publicity value from the combined Trimaran and Maxi projects are helping to put forward the name of Colt Cars in Britain. Another recent and exciting development for the Colt dealer network has been the recent introduction of the Lonsdale franchise in Britain, which is based on the importation of cars manufactured in Australia by Mitsubishi Motors Australia Limited. Under a separate management structure and marketing, directed by Jeremy Fraser, Lonsdale's marketing director, the Lonsdale franchise offers an additional profit opportunity to Colt dealers in Britain.
There's no doubt in anyone's mind. For once, the Aussies and the Poms just have to agree. The best ideas definitely come out of the blue.
To conclude this brief presentation on Colt and its activities, we highlight the launch to the dealer network of some of the most recent new models to be launched in Britain from Mitsubishi Motors Corporation. At the time of their introduction, the dealer network was flown to Hamburg in Germany, and during the flight a film was shown which was shot on location in Jersey.
This is a treasure island. The treasure is for you to find and take in order to make this your dream year. In May of last year, Colt introduced their first turbo model, the Lancer 2000 Turbo. Reputed to be the fastest 2-litre production saloon car in the world, it soon established Colt in the performance car market. A top speed of 132 miles an hour and 0 to 60 in 7.1 seconds is certainly impressive in comparison with much more expensive competition, such as the Porsche 928S. Recently, both the economy and performance benefits of the Lancer Turbo were demonstrated in a drive from London to Munich and back. Under RAC supervision, the Lancer Turbo was driven by Stuart Bladen, ex-technical editor of Autocar, from the centre of London to the centre of Munich at an average speed of 58.69 miles an hour and achieved an impressive fuel consumption figure of 31 miles per gallon. That highlighted the economy of a properly developed turbocharged engine. To emphasise the sheer performance value of the car, Barry Williams, who drove for Colt in the 1981 British Saloon Car Championship, then drove back from the centre of Munich to the centre of London, some 735 miles. He did it in 8 hours and 30 minutes, an average speed of 85.64 miles an hour, having achieved an average 101 miles an hour over the 644 miles between Munich and Calais. It is this philosophy which has helped to establish Mitsubishi vehicles as a mark of distinction in Britain, and one which has made Colt a profitable franchise, both for the Colt Car Company and its dealer network.
Colt, moving up faster.